Welcome to literary and jury charge practice. This jury charge is one we've been working on. Actually, it's regarding insanity, mental disorder, mental institution, all right, so this is just a small section of it to get warmed up. Here we go. The law defines insanity in many ways. In some states, the law is that anyone who is suffering from a mental disorder is deemed to be insane. In other states, the rule prevails in which the defendant is said to be insane if he is not able to tell the difference between right and wrong. Various ways of defining insanity are used because there has been no standard way of defining it. The most commonly used law is defined as the law is referred to as the right or wrong rule. It defines insanity of the inability to tell right from wrong. There are many other tests for insanity. One common test is to determine if a person knew an act to be wrong, but because of his mental condition could not control his actions. That is one way of describing it. Another common test: defendants found not guilty by reason of insanity are not set free. They are usually confined to a mental institution until they are determined to be sane. They may be confined for a longer period than if punished in another way. An insanity defense normally rests on the testimony of someone who testifies for the defendant. Right, that's it for that jury charge. Let's get back to our article in the NCRA magazine about posting on social media. All right, let's see, this section of the article is called Probe into the Past. Probe into the past. Oh, and then we'll probably do the final section as well. It's called Personality. So we have Probe into the Past and Personality. Here we go. It's a good idea for students to audit their online presence a couple of times a year by conducting a Google search of themselves, especially when done from a computer they don't use. This allows students to know what's out there with their names on it and take steps to remove or hide unwanted content when possible. This semester, I started to fill my YouTube channel with video tutorials on Eclipse features for students, Schilling said. I'd forgotten about a video I'd made years ago that was unrelated and didn't show me in the best light. Schilling has since been more conscious of her online content. You can't take yourself too flippantly online, even if you create something intended for one audience. You can't always control who will see it, said Schilling. However, despite the fact that it might seem like there are a lot of rules to follow, remember to have fun and show a little personality behind that professional demeanor. There's a fine line between being professional and a corporate shell, Knight said. You're not going to build lasting relationships if you're only thinking about driving business. So that concludes that article. And again, that's from the NCRA magazine in February of 2016 if you're interested in actually viewing it. So one of the words in that last section, flippantly, and we had YouTube, Google, all right. I think that's very, very helpful. Let's get back to some jury charge practice. This is a new jury charge that we'll start working on, and looks like this is an accident case, and we have, let's see, it's an accident, but it says this case involves a company automobile and a corporation. Okay, so it's about business entities, but it's an accident case regarding a company car, company vehicle. So let's get started on this one. Ready? Your duty is to determine whether the defendant could have avoided the accident. You must not base your decision on speculation. You must base your decision on the facts alone. In doing so, you must keep in mind that there has been testimony stricken from the record. That testimony is not to be considered in your decision. You must not include this testimony when you are making your decision as to the facts in this case. You may not consider evidence that was stricken from the record. That must be treated as though you had never known it. You must also keep in mind that standing alone, a question is not evidence. You may not consider it as evidence. If you have a question with regard to the law, as I indicated, you are to get the bailiff to take the question or questions to me. I will answer your questions as best I can. I will be in my chambers, so I will be here to answer any questions that you may have. You may look at the diagrams or any other evidence that you need to review in order to make your decision. This case involves a company automobile and a corporation. With regard to business entities, you must know the law. The fact that this case involves a business entity should not prejudice you in your deliberations or in your verdict. You must treat the business entity as a person. In the eyes of the law, a business entity is a person. That entity is entitled to the same fair and impartial considerations and to justice by the same legal standards. With regard to the business entity, you must keep in mind that it is being charged with the responsibility for the accident. You must keep in mind that the suit involves both individuals and the corporation. The law that applies in this case determines how the responsibility will fall. You must not be prejudiced in any way because the accident involves a company vehicle. You must not believe a company to be above the law. On the other hand, you must not punish a company because you think it has power above an individual. The company and an individual have been accused of causing the accident. It is now the duty of the plaintiff's attorney to have convinced you that they do not do their duty or act properly, resulting in the accident. Your concern is not to speculate with regard to the facts in this case. Your concern is to determine whether the individual driving the car acted properly while driving. So we had deliberations, business entity, diagrams, prejudiced, speculate, finish that one up later. I have some new literary material, and it's actually kind of for fun. It's a Dr. Seuss book, and it's called Oh, the Places You'll Go. So some of the words are fairly simple because it is a Dr. Seuss book, but then there are some words that are maybe made up words as well, so can be a little bit of a challenge as well. So let's give it a try. Ready? Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets. Look 'em over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not so good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're darked. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite, or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind maker upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place, the waiting place. Well, we'll stop there. The adventure continues. We'll read on. And it's kind of funny. I've read this before in my classes, and it applies a little bit to being a student. Let's see. So again, I know there's some crazy words that are just made up. Let's see. Let me see here. Well, you'll probably, since they're made up, unless somebody reads this book again, you may not hear again. Oh my gosh, and now I can't find any of them. Well, we had prickly perch. Although prickly, I've heard that word before. Prickly, perch, hang-ups, bang-ups, lurch, a mind maker upper. Mind maker upper. And this isn't made up, but wiggled. That's a good word, wiggled. Okay, that's all for now of Oh, the Places You'll Go. Actually, I think that will do it for today, for our literary and jury charge practice. Thank you.